guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Monday. I hope your week has started off right and you had a great weekend. So today we're going to talk about a topic that is so near and dear to my heart because I am obsessed with online shopping. If given the choice, every time I will choose to purchase something online rather than in store. And I know so many of you out there, if not all of you, have at one point or another purchased makeup online. And for the most part, purchasing makeup online is no big deal, except when it comes to complexion products, because those items are the ones that we have to pay the most attention to when it comes to getting an appropriate shade match. So today we're gonna talk about how to find your perfect foundation shade while shopping online. Okay guys, I'm gonna give you 5 very simple steps to follow so when you are online trying to figure out how to pick your foundation shade, you are going to get it right each and every time. Okay, number 1 has to be, first and foremost, before anything else, know what your basic skin tone is. You must know what category you fit into, and that is going to help you to choose the perfect foundation for you. Are you fair? Are you medium? Are you tan? Are you dark? And there are a multitude of different shades in between. But if you go to many websites such as Sephora and you click on any brand's foundation, you'll find that many of the descriptions begin with stating what the basic skin tone is of that particular shade. So you definitely need to first find out which category you fall into. Second, you're going to need to figure out what your undertone is. Now, if you guys haven't checked it out, I have a complete video on how to find your correct undertone. I will leave the link in the description box. Definitely check that out. You need to know your undertone because so many times we may pick the correct color for our skin, but if the undertone isn't perfect, isn't correct, you will definitely see that coming through your makeup. You'll look a little too red, too pink, too yellow, too gray, too green. You need to know what your undertone is, and you use that information coupled with what your basic skin tone is to come up with a pretty good base foundation description that you can use to figure out what your shade is across any brand. So I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. If you are in the fair category and you have a neutral undertone, if you go to a particular brand website and you look at their foundations, you may see that exact description under one of their shade names. Fair skin with neutral undertone, medium skin with yellow undertone, deep skin with red undertone. So knowing both your basic skin tone and your undertone is gonna give you a really great place to start when picking out your shade. Also, another tip is that make sure that you are getting a good match from face to neck to décolleté. Many times, especially those of you that self-tan, you don't want to get your face color if your décolleté is a completely different color. You want to make sure that you are a uniform color in all 3 of those areas. Also, I highly recommend figuring out this information during the winter time or while there's a period of time during the year where you're at your fairest. Many times, many of us will need winter foundation shades and summer foundation shades, but I think it's best to find your true natural winter shade where you're at your lightest, and then from there you can add in different other shades or mixers to darken up your base color foundation as the seasons change and your skin color changes. The third thing that I want you guys to do is make sure that you are aware of what your MAC shade reference is. MAC has a shade system that has been used so widely, and many brands will actually compare their shades to what the equivalent MAC shade will be. For myself, for example, I am an NC44 or NC45, depending on what type of MAC foundation I'm using. So when I go to compare what I could possibly be in another brand's foundation, I am definitely going to make sure that it is comparable to an NC45. Number 4 goes hand in hand with number 3, and that is to do a Google search. And in order to do an effective Google search, you're going to need your MAC shade reference. Personally, what I do when I'm trying to figure out what shade I am in a particular brand's foundation, I will just enter into the search engine NC45 versus Estée Lauder, NC45 versus Becca, NC45 versus Cover FX, or whatever the brand is that you're looking for your particular shade in. And that will pull up so many different faces, swatches, blog references of that particular comparison that you're looking for. I highly recommend that you guys look at both photos and videos. Of course, right now you're watching me on YouTube, and I know YouTube is a huge reference for a lot of people, but keep in mind, I have a huge ring light in front of me. Things get washed out. If I come up close, I am gonna look so much lighter than if I am further away from the camera. So be very mindful of that when watching videos. That's why I personally enjoy searching blogs of other people who have done swatches on their natural skin in natural light. That is key. Trying to find swatches of foundation shades that are shown to you in natural light, because trust me, it looks completely different if you're doing it in front of professional lighting or harsh fluorescent indoor lighting as opposed to natural light. So that's something that I always make sure that I try my best to find someone that's done swatch comparisons of shades in natural light. So last but not least, number 5 is to use foundation finding tools or websites. Personally for me, I've always been a huge fan of Temptalia. She has a foundation matrix on her website. I know some of you are well aware of that. That is a great tool to go, and all you gotta do is plug in your one foundation shade from one particular brand that you're already aware of that you are, and it will find you comparisons to so many other brands. So that's a great starting point. Also, foundation.com. I love using that website. Great website as well. You put in 1 or 2 foundation shades and it will pull up a whole list of other brands and shades that should match you in comparison to the 1 or 2 shades that you gave the info, the search bar that you already know that you are. Also too, sometimes if you go to that specific brand's website, if you have a specific brand in mind and you're trying to figure out what your shade will be, sometimes they have their own foundation finding system or tool within that brand's website, and you can go there and figure out what your particular shade will be, because that brand is going to, of course, give you the best indication of what their own particular shades are. So there you have it, guys, my 5 tips to help you find your perfect foundation shade while shopping online. Please give the video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.